Hello, true duelists, and welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! Single Card History, the series where I talk about some of the cards that have impacted Yu-Gi-Oh! Throughout the years, and some of the other ones that didn't. Today's card, the dragon with so much potential, according to exclusively people who prefer watching the anime to actually playing the card game, it's Red Eyes Black Dragon. Red Eyes rounds out the trio of videos that I wasn't initially going to make, but it's been a hectic week, so forgive me, because we're talking about the third of the trio of sorts that is the Duel Monsters Ace Monsters series, and it's Red Eyes. It's just Red Eyes in all of its glory. Also released in 2002 in the Legend of Blue Eyes set, it, like the other two Ace Monsters before it, is best known probably for its starter deck printing in 2003. And like its vanilla friends, it's also had far too many reprints for me to really care to list off. So again, instead, I'm showing you all the various alternate arts it's received over the years. Only 8 for Red Eyes, and I'm not even sure we have all of them currently in the TCG as I'm recording this, but given that it's Red Eyes, you'll get it in like a year or two. Included is some nostalgia bait reprint in some set. There's also, of course, those 2 Red Eyes alt arts that just have a different background, which isn't unique to Red Eyes, but it's much less distinct than it was in Blue Eyes. At least the moon is different from the tablet. With Red Eyes, it's just like, look, we darkened the background. Either way, Red Eyes is a level 7 Dark Dragon monster with 2400 attack and 2000 defense with no effect. It was also the dragon boss monster of the Dinosaur Duelist in the anime, which never made much sense to me, but it gets a pass for how damn cool it is, if nothing else. Getting right into the discussion of it, this is the worst of the trio in regards to its playability in the game. Rip to all the Red Eyes fans, but that's simply the truth. In each of these videos covering DM Vanilla, as I've mentioned Summon Skull, because outside of Blue Eyes and the Flute of Summoning Dragon, as a strategy, all 3 of the Blue Eyes, Red Eyes, and Dark Magician are worse than Summon Skull. The Lightning Boy is just built superior, and while Blue Eyes at least had the Flute of Summoning Dragon to cheat it out, and Dark Magician was at least equal to it in terms of attack points, Red Eyes is just worse. It's 1 extra summon for 100 less attack. It's more investment for even less, which is just plain simply awful. And even though you can feel inclined to mention that you could also summon Red Eyes off the Flute of Summoning Dragon, you could also just summon Blue Eyes instead, so that's not really an argument. There's never a single reason to play Red Eyes in a deck with the Flute of Summoning Dragon, because even if you hypothetically want more big beater dragons to summon off of the Flute, there's Tri-Horned Dragon, which serves as a stronger beater, and requires the same amount of investment however you go about getting it out. And if you want even more than that, at that point you're looking for a 7th, 8th, and 9th 2 tribute vanilla beater? I don't think you know what you're doing, not even in 2002. And the truth is, while Red Eyes has received support in the same way that the other 2 DM Aces did, it has by far the worst support out of the 3. Case in point, I can find 0 tops at even a regional level playing Red Eyes as a pure deck. And while the card itself does have a handful of tops, that is solely due to its function as a garnet to summon out Dragoon, which between the Dragoon video itself and even Dark Magician's videos I've gone over and don't need to repeat myself, but if you're curious you can check those videos out. Put simply, it is the marginally worse of the 2 horrifically terrible garnets you might draw, because at least Dark Magician has more attack in whatever godless situation you might find yourself in where you need to summon it. And beyond those garnet tops, the card just hasn't seen play, because it really is just a shittier version of Blue Eyes in regards to the card game proper. People will insist that the card has potential, but so far all we've seen is waves of unrelated support that don't really synergize all that well, and are as lacking as they are expensive on debut, because there's the anime tax that's just the Blackstone of Legend was like $70 on release, I think, and that was not worth it. Hell, in 2017, Red Eyes received Red Eyes Baby Dragon, and that was $30 for a battle floater. Holy shit. And that one was also in the weird equip, because it's had so many. I've tried writing this script so many times, and I can't be bothered to go over all the variety of cards Red Eyes has received that simply aren't that good, which is insane, because Red Eyes received a Red Eyes exclusive trade-in that's also a Foolish Burial, but it's got the Hard Once Return. And what do you do with the Red Eyes once it's in the grave? I guess you just hope that you've already got the Return of the Dragon Lord in the hand, the monster reborn of some kind in your hand to bring it back. And even then, everything that you're doing is just tunneling in towards a 2400 beater. Literally Monarch stats with less reward. It's so underwhelming. Konami just keeps trying to make Red Eyes work, and in the name of a Mean Girls joke, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Stop trying to make Red Eyes happen. Obviously they won't, because it's free money every time they print support, but it's like, can we at least get some cohesion in the support, please? Initially you had the burn, which I guess made sense when you look at Inferno Fire Blast, which I believe was the name, yes it was, of the spell card that did burn damage if you control the Red Eyes, but then that Red Eyes couldn't attack. So you had Red Eyes Flare Metal that kept the burn up, and the Red Eyes Gemini monster that if you Gemini summoned it for whatever, I don't even know what the fuck you were doing, but hypothetically it could burn, and the new not Red Eyes, but a Red Eyes card of Black Skull Archfiend Dragon to deal burn damage by putting a Red Eyes back in the deck, just to hope you draw into it again, I guess. I don't know. It's very strange. The initial Clash of Rebellions wave of support was so underwhelming, and then they followed it up with, I believe it was the Legend of the Duelist, with the Equip support, where they got another fusion monster to go off of Red Eyes Fusion to be the only monster you could summon in the turn, because why would you make a card good? It's Red Eyes support. And then it was all just Equip-based support. And it's all just nothing really to do with the burn strategy. And that didn't work, and the burning doesn't work, and the Geminis don't work. None of it works. I don't know what potential people are gaslighting me about, but I don't believe it. It has the potential to be ignored, and it does that very well. And that seems to be Red Eyes' legacy, because there's just not much to really meaningfully talk about, except for maybe that one FTK, where you summon the big 3500 fusion to send a Red Eyes to the grave and burn for like 1200, and then you activate Inferno Fire Blast, because Red Eyes Fusion makes whatever fusion monster it summons become named Red Eyes Black Dragon while it's on the field, so you can use Inferno Fire Blast with that fusion monster and it'll burn for 35. And if you've got that stupid quick play that copies the spell card effect by discarding your entire hand, then you can burn again. So what you can do is, if you open Red Eyes Fusion, Inferno Fire Blast, and that quick play spell, and don't get interrupted, you immediately win the game. And when you don't open exactly those three cards, or if your opponent is aware of the existence of Ash Blossom and plays it, which, spoiler alert, they are, then you just sit there with a 3500 on board, and actually no, you got Ashed, so you don't even get that, and you just die, and that's the experience of playing Red Eyes, because I would love for Red Eyes to be better than it is, but it simply isn't, and I've wasted enough time here. There's no history to this fucking card. It's just popular because, yeah, it looks cool as shit, and a lot of people liked Joey from the anime and other such things, and there's a lot of nostalgia factor to this thing, but it's simply gimped from the start. It's out of the gate. 2400 on a 7-star was never gonna be enough. Never. This card was released after Blue Eyes and the OCG, so I genuinely don't know what it is they were thinking with this thing, but it's not it. It's not it. Visually, it is it. And you fucking, the 9th wave, when it gets support that's based on negates instead of equip spells and burning, maybe then we'll finally have something to meaningfully talk about for Red Eyes beyond being a Garnet to summon out Dragoon. But until such time, it is simply nifty. It's a cooler figure to buy than it is a card to play, which sucks to some to hear, but that's simply the way it is. You know, if you like it, there's plenty of strategies you can try with. I just don't expect to go winning any regionals, because if they couldn't get it done in 2015, they are not getting it done in 2024. And that's the history of Red Eyes. It's fucking, there's none. There's nothing. I've wasted enough time. Thank you for watching. And that's our total look at Yu-Gi-Oh! Single card history, Red Eyes. This wasn't even scripted, so stay tuned for the next video. Shout outs to LIFD for the support. Promo code YGOStrats if you want 15% off one of these fine displays. If you leave a comment for whatever card you might want to see. And that's it. See you next time. Hit subscribe and be a true goddamn duelist. That's it.